In 2021, around 500,000 people were reported missing in the United States. By the end of the year, still 97,000 of these cases were active. This is according to the National Crime Information Center. Of the 500,000 people, 337,000 of these people were youths. This does not count all the unsolved missing persons from years gone by. This is one such case from May 17th, 2021, when Ryan Larsen of La Vista, Nebraska, went missing. Hello, I'm Sean, and if you are new here, then welcome to my channel. If you are a returner, then welcome back. I research true crime and tell it to you. Storytelling. This is my first Friday video of hopefully many more. I'm going to still do true crime on Monday, and on Fridays I will do unsolved mysteries, which can include just regular crimes that are unsolved or missing persons. I think that a lot of times with missing persons, they need their voices heard. So that's the reason I want to do it. It needs to get out there. I mean, they're missing. They need to be found. So if you're not subscribed, please do so. I really appreciate all the new subscribers, and thank you for helping support me and helping me entertain you. Without you, I would be nothing. So, on with our true crime. Ryan Larsen was born June 6th, 2009. I don't know why I said it that way. To Tammy Larsen. He also has three older sisters, Christina, Taylor, and Kayla. His father was not in the picture, but had just found out about him in 2020. His name is Larry Hewitt. He lives up in North Dakota and never knew anything about Ryan until then. And the reason he found out is because Tammy went after him for child support, according to the news. So I'm not making anything up. That's what the news reported. Ryan was a tall 11-year-old kid. He was 5'8", and he weighed in about 125 pounds. Now, for an 11-year-old being 5'8", I'm 5'11", so I mean that's only like 3 inches shorter than me. So about right there. That is tall for being an 11-year-old. He has brown hair, hazel eyes, and sometimes wears glasses. He does have a bunch of medical conditions. Some of them are autism, Tourette's, and epilepsy. He is considered high functioning, but was very much nonverbal toward people he didn't know. Otherwise, he was described as being a happy boy who enjoyed helping others. On the day that he disappeared, he was wearing a black and gray hooded sweatshirt, an Old Navy t-shirt, blue jeans, and black shoes. He also had a polka dot umbrella with him because it was raining or drizzling that morning. He attended the 6th grade in La Vista West Elementary School and lived 2 blocks away from the school at Southfield Apartments. So on Monday, May 17th, 2021, Ryan was in school. He got upset at a math question and was sent to another room to not disturb the class. More than likely, this was part of an IEP or an individual education plan. This was a place for him to calm down. This is common with special education, which I'm assuming with all of his disabilities, he probably was considered special education. I might be assuming too much, and if I am, I'm sorry, but I've dealt with it before, and I know that they have escape rooms to chill out, so to speak. Um, Ryan had a tendency of running away from home and running away from school. He had done it on so many different occasions, so many more that the police knew many of his hiding places. He would hide, but he'd always be found safe and sound. And if he wasn't found safe and sound, he eventually came out of his hiding spot and went back to home or went back to school. Per the newspaper, uh, the local police called him the king of hide and seek. He was enrolled in Project Lifesaver. They're a national or nationwide program that help people who have a tendencies of wandering. His mother was given a bracelet with a GPS tracker on it. This way that when Ryan did run off, they were able to locate him a lot quicker. But Ryan kept cutting off the bracelet, so his mom stopped making him wear it. I guess I would have probably investigated in a way to make it impossible to cut off. I feel like a medical alert bracelet has that metal chain that goes around your wrist. Something like that he couldn't have cut off. So I don't know if they explored all those options. But if he had a tendency of running off, I would have figured out something. And I'm not criticizing the mom. I don't know the whole story on that. It's just hindsight's 2020, I guess. So Ryan was in the special room with a paraprofessional who assisted him with his daily activities. The person had to go, and the replacement was a little late, so they just left him in the room. He was left unsupervised for a short time, about 10 minutes. The time that they actually used and I searched for all the times, and the only one that I could find was in one of the newspapers, and they said that he was alone from 11:55 to 12:05. But then they also said that he was observed running from the school around 12:27. So they don't really say anything about what happened between 12:05 and 12:27. I did see one thing that teacher saw him walking in the hallway and approached him to talk to him, and he just ignored them and kept on walking. I'm not sure. But the school at that time did not have any cameras and could not pinpoint which way he ran. Uh, in 2021, I'm kind of surprised that the school didn't have cameras. But every report that I found said that the school did not have any up and running. So that's not a good thing. But with all other problems going on in schools, you need as many cameras as possible. It's for safety reasons. Per protocol, the school contacted the police department, and the cops were there within 5 minutes and searched the school. They also went to the apartment, but they came up empty. Ryan's mom was also contacted and met with the police at the school, according to the news. Ryan did not have a key to the apartment and would not have been able to get in since nobody was home. Or that's at least what the news is saying, that nobody was home. I don't know. A lot of it's iffy. They don't fill in all the blanks. The news did state that a neighbor saw Ryan taking out the trash in the early afternoon. So at least they thought it was Ryan. A massive search started. They got local and state officials and also got the FBI to assist in the search. Now, one of the places that the FBI searched was his biological father's house in North Dakota, but they came up with nothing there. Um, Eventually, one of the major places that they concentrated a lot of search on was Walnut Creek recreational area. Ryan had been there recently and liked it. Plus, he liked water. Um, Unless the news is wrong, his mother worked at I think, a daycare that was right behind the lake, right there. So, I mean, like within walking distance of the lake. Cadaver dogs were used and caught the smell of decay around the lake. So they got a couple sonar hits from boats going across the lake. But once they partially drained the lake, they only found some logs and tires laying down there. But the cadaver dogs kept getting hits. I mean, it could have been anything that was dead and decaying, but they could never find any bodies. The police started asking people to check their cameras, Ring cameras, doorbell cameras, every camera that they had hooked up. Only one camera had a possible sighting, and that was a restaurant that was just right across the street from the apartment complex. It was grainy, and they were not 100% that it was actually him. His mother was convinced that it's him, but nobody else really knows. I hate to throw any speculation at all into this case, but it's one of those things. The lake is approximately 5 miles away from their home. I mean, if you travel straight down the road and over, it equals out to about 5 miles exactly. I drove that route just to see, and there are a lot of cameras. There's so many stores, so many businesses, so many homes, stoplights, street cameras, things like that he would have passed. And there's only one sighting of him. It's sad because I know he's good at hide and seek, but he's not going to be able to be good enough to hide from all the cameras too. Yeah, sorry. The whole city was abuzz with the story of Ryan. People all around were checking their cameras. There were multiple Facebook groups dedicated to finding him. People were stating that they checked one place or another. They were checking farms and parks. There's a couple big parks that are just, have little wooded areas and things like that. There was like a farmhouse down the road from that direction. There's a lot of places from where he could have wandered if he wandered off. Psychics on TikTok were talking about him, and they were stating that they got feelings of where he was located, and they would show like different locations. One person drew a little map saying he's located right here, and drew. You can't really tell what the map is of, but it's like, okay. They searched and nothing ever turned up. I mean, I can honestly say, like I said, I drove the route to the lake. I know my wife and I drove around many times just looking for some answers, trying to see in that area, where could somebody have ran off to, hid, things like that? And the one thing we noted is there's many cameras everywhere. And that's the problem that I'm having with this. Uh, you know, Having a special needs child myself, my stepson is, we kind of became fixated because it's like this could have happened to us. Um, and in fact, he did run away from school one time, but luckily he was found right away. But it's just I don't know. It became personal for a lot of people because they wanted to find him. Unfortunately, the rumor mills started to churn, and there were so many different theories. People wanted to know where this little guy had went. Did he hide so good that he couldn't get out? You know, like down into a sewer drain or something and couldn't get out of it? Or did he hide somewhere that had devastating consequences? Um, People were saying, did he hide in a trash can and couldn't get out? Well, at 5'8", he should have been able to easily plop out of that. Did someone take him? If somebody took him, was it a stranger or someone he knew? Was he alive or was he dead? And that's the whole thing. I mean, if somebody took him, that could explain why there's no camera footage. But why? The police did go around and check a lot of people that were on the registry, SA offenders, and came up with nothing on that. One of the biggest questions and things like that for the rumor mills was, where was his family? With all this, where did his family, why weren't they there? His sisters did post some stuff on TikTok. I did find some of their postings, and out of respect for them, I'm not showing it. I was going to, but out of respect for the family, I can't do that. It was almost 4 months or over 4 months later before his mom actually did do an interview. Until this time, she never had gotten in front of a camera. She was saying that the police told them not to talk to anyone. I find this really odd because in so many missing persons cases, the family is usually right there, front and center from the beginning. I know I would have been. Now, I'm not criticizing the family. I feel that the police possibly did tell them to stay quiet, and they were just following the orders of the police. But the authorities should have known better. While doing my research on this case, I came across a website for the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention.gov. So it's a government office that deals with juvenile justice. On their website, they actually have an instruction guide of when your child is missing, a family survival guide. In it, they said that a parent needs to do as much as they can to generate media attention and get media interest in the search for the child. The first 48 hours is crucial. It does say that sometimes police are reluctant for you to go involving the media, as it was with this case. Um, but getting out there in front of the media, if somebody did take him, kind of humanizes him, and you know, a person might be more apt to give him up. Um, Also, if he did run away and he saw the TV broadcast and saw how the parents were so sad and heartbroken that he was gone, he might turn himself in and say, okay, yeah, I ran away, sorry. Those are a couple of reasons. Another thing that never happened in this case was offering a reward. A couple weeks after his disappearance, La Vista Police Chief Bob Lawston stated that they would need to go down this road to offer a reward, but they haven't formalized anything yet. He said that there was nothing to suspect criminal elements were involved to need a reward. Now, going back to the Office of Juvenile Justice, they state that it might motivate people living on the fringe of society to call in a lead. Some people that don't want to get involved might feel more convinced to say something for a reward. It does not mean that somebody did something nefarious, but you might have seen something, but you just don't want to get involved. And that reward might convince you to get involved. Some people have a hatred for the government and authorities, but money motivates. Now, I know a lot of times families don't have the money for a reward, but there are organizations and funds out there to help people with this very thing. According to the news, Amber Alert was not issued because they said that it's only issued if the child has been abducted. But once again, according to the Office of Juvenile Justice, they said that they can issue a child alert or an Amber Alert anytime a child just goes missing. So I don't know what was going on. They did report him as an endangered child, so that's one plus, but I don't remember it going across my phone. I know anytime an Amber Alert goes off, it pops on my phone right away, but I don't remember when he went missing that it actually triggered my phone. Uh, During the investigation, TikTok also came up a bunch because apparently the mother was dating a guy that was on there or something like that, and um, there are some suspicions about him. I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that his name was Tasman 42069. Um, there was so much hubbub about this person, and I don't know. I'm trying to stay away from speculation, and it's just something that has come up many, many times throughout documents that I was reading and things like that. A little over a month after he disappeared, they found Ryan's polka dot umbrella behind one of the dumpsters at his apartment complex. So they don't know if it was placed there after the fact or if it had been there the whole time. They did do DNA testing and found out that it was his and it had his DNA on it. Yeah, so I guess I would have thought, because they said that the police checked the dumpsters to make sure he wasn't hiding in one. Uh, but I would have figured that you would have seen an umbrella sitting back there. I don't know. In January of 2023, Tammy Larsen filed a petition with the courts to declare Ryan deceased, so then she could hold Papillion La Vista Public Schools responsible for his disappearance. They had a hearing in February, and the judge threw it out in April. It was a month before Ryan would have been missing for 2 years. And the judge said that they usually wait 5 years before declaring a person deceased. So, they were not going to give up hope that he was still alive someplace. Um, but she claimed that the school failed to supervise Ryan since he had special needs and had a history of running. But everything I've read, it seems like the school called the police and contacted her like right away after he ran off. Um, some things say, why didn't the school officials run after him? And I don't know how fast he was or anything like that, but they might have tried in the past and can't catch him. So what's the point of doing it again? I, I can't say for certain, but she herself stopped making him wear the GPS bracelet instead of trying to figure out a permanent solution, or at least it appears that way. Even though they wouldn't declare him deceased, she still filed a lawsuit against the school district. The courts dismissed this too. They said that she could not prove that the school district committed an intentional act of bad faith. So the court's basically saying that she can't prove that the school intentionally just let him run off. Which I'm glad that the court did this. I mean, it's still, if she finds evidence, she can resue the school. But I don't know. So many feelings about this whole situation. It's very sad. If you have any information on Ryan or leading to his location, please contact the Sarpy County Crime Stoppers at 402-952-STOP. That's 402-592-7867. Somebody out there knows something. Somebody knows where he is and what happened. Please help this kid get home. Help have the family some closure, the community some closure. I swear somebody out there knows something. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, somebody had to have seen him walking. Somebody had to have seen something. And if he was kidnapped, somebody knows something. A lot of kidnap cases like that, I see the person's not too shy about it, and somebody knows that they kidnapped somebody. So sorry, it's just such a strange case. It's almost like he walked out of school and disappeared, like aliens grabbed him or something. I find it impossible for no one to have seen him or seen anything. I don't know. I could ramble on about this, but thank you for showing up to my first of many Fridays. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Ryan, I hope you're found alive. Ryan's family, I'm sorry for the pain that you guys are going through. I really do apologize. And I hope he'll be found sometime soon. So be good to yourself. Be good to others. I love you all. See you next time.